If you watch people look at art, most people, this is how they look at art. They take about 5 seconds. Today I'm going to give you a technique that you can use anytime you're looking at an object. And really what we're working on is we're working on interpreting art. So Coral, read the learning target for today for me, please.
I will interpret art.
I teach 6th grade social studies. That social studies covers prehistoric time through ancient civilizations all the way up to the Roman Empire. Incorporating that cross-curricular approach where art is the basis from which they learn the curriculum is such a terrific way to engage students. So this unit focuses from the beginning on Greek mythology. First step in the unit is researching Greek god and goddess attributes. We move from there into Greek mythological stories, giving them some more background on some of the gods and goddesses. The lesson that I taught today was See, Wonder, Think. It's designed to allow students a strategy to observe art and foster an inquiry-based learning process. We want them to look at something closely and create a thoughtful interpretation of what they're looking at. And so we give them a process by which to do that. I'm going to project a work of art on the board. And what I want you to do is to look at that art for 60 seconds. You're not going to write anything. I want you to focus only on what you can observe. We are not making any inferences here. Who can tell me what an inference is?
An inference is a guess about what you've seen so far.
An inference is a guess, absolutely. I tell the students that they are going to look at an image for 60 seconds. The image is an image I've downloaded from the Getty's website. They're not supposed to be guessing anything about the object that they're looking at, but that they're limiting themselves to visual observation, things they can directly see. This is a Getty lesson from the Getty's education section of their website. All the items in the See, Wonder, Think lesson are available online. All the images are available for download in large file format, and it is free. 15 more seconds. All right, I want you to take 2 minutes. Then in that 2 minutes, I want you to write down 3 things that you detected, 3 things that you saw. Please remember, no inferences. Go. Go ahead and put your pen or pencil down. Okay, now I'm going to have you share with a partner 1 thing that you saw. Go.
I saw the broken forearm of the man's, like it was right here. Then like the rest of his arm, it's broken.
I saw a man sitting on a throne. It's teaching us like to pay attention, that to look at everything, don't just look at the whole thing. Try to look at the small details.
Once they've had a chance to share with a partner, I have them share out with the class. Now I'm getting a chance to assess them as a group. All right, what did you detect, Angelica?
I detected a man missing many parts of the body.
Missing many parts of the body. Well, can you give me an example?
The foot.
Okay, can you give me an example, please?
The foot.
We answer in complete sentences.
Oh.
Give me an example of something missing.
An example that is missing is the foot.
There's a foot missing here. All right, terrific. Now you're going to wonder about the things that you saw. Write down 3 questions about what you can observe. Then we move on to the wonder section of this lesson, allowing them to make inferences, to wonder about things that they can't see based on things that they can see. Go.
One of the questions I had was, what about if his shirt was on? If he had a shirt on? What was he made out of?
Who was the artist?
Is this sculpture a symbol of something important?
Thank you. We've got a bunch of different questions about things that we can observe. Our next step is to think. And for this part, I don't want you to write anything down yet. When I say go, I'm going to keep... The think section requires them to think about what might answer the question they posed. Help them create those thoughtful interpretations, see if they can find an answer to their own question. Try to figure out if there's any evidence in this object that might help you answer your question.
I think the statue is pretty old because the arm and some of the foot is dissolved.
Dissolved. So let's zoom in on this object a little more closely. The images are such high resolution, I can zoom in and the students can see the detail of that from across the room. This is what you're going to do. You're going to share out one question with everyone at your table. Then I want you to pick one question, and I want you all to think of what the answer to that question might be.
My question is she a goddess?
My question was, who is she?
My question was, why does she wear such an old dress? Is she an elder or something?
I think the best question.
Who is she?
Yeah,
is it? I know it
It could be Hera or Persephone.
So who is she, right? Alright, yeah, who is she? Okay, who is she? We all agree?
I could give students a worksheet of Greek gods, what they're the god of, and what their attributes are, have them study it and give them a quiz on it. But if they're identifying those attributes in actual art objects and facing that challenge, it hooks them in ways that I haven't found anything else does.
Alright, and then my answer will be her. Because the pomegranate.
Yeah, but we don't know. Hera, her symbol was a pomegranate too.
She's wearing a crown though, so.
But Persephone was the queen of the underworld.
But she would probably wear like darker clothes because she's an underworld.
Were Persephone and Hera the only Greek gods or goddesses that were known to have a symbol that was round and they could hold in their hand? Because I will tell you that this is neither Hera nor Persephone.
So who is she is the perfect question.
Yeah, but we don't know.
One of the groups, their interpretation was incorrect. I stepped in and pointed out that while their interpretation was potentially correct, in truth, it turns out that it was not the right direction, and I redirected them. Now I'd like to focus on the identification of who is in your object. So I'm going to start with table 2.
Well, we think that that goddess is Artemis because Artemis always wears a short tunic, and in the shoes it looks like there's a crescent moon there.
Terrific, all right? This is the goddess Diana, which is the Roman version of Artemis, often shown wearing a short tunic. Look at the placement of her hands. If somebody is doing this and they're not scratching their back, what else might they be doing? Genesis?
Artemis must have been reaching for her bow.
Artemis might have been reaching for her bow. Maybe her bow was back here, absolutely. Or maybe her bow was here. When I do See, Wonder, Think with students, I'm hoping to teach them something that they can use for the rest of their lives. This is a strategy that helps them slow down and notice things.
I use See, Wonder, and Think in math class because sometimes I don't understand things. So I look at the whole page of the math assignment and I think of the questions and I look in the focus boxes and the examples to see if I can find my answer easier.
What are the 3 steps we use when we interpret art?
3 steps we used to interpret art were see, wonder, and think.
See, wonder, and think. Absolutely. Terrific. Who can tell me what we do when we see?
When we see an object, we inspect it, look for big details or small details.
Absolutely. When we wonder, what are we doing? When we're looking at a piece of art and we're wondering?
We wonder about the details and what had happened to them.
Absolutely. And the last step, what's the last step?
Our last step is to think.
The last step is to think. What do you do when you think?
When we think, we answer the questions that we were wondering of.
Right. When we think, we answer the questions that we came up with during our wonder. Based on what?
What we focus on is the details of the art.
The details in the art, absolutely. What we can visually observe is what we focus on. The See, Wonder, Think lesson is going to help them when they see these Greek and Roman gods in art form, but it's also going to help them understand the mythology and learn why the Greeks included these mythological figures in their art and their culture.